Steven Spielberg. This was a very interesting article where Steven Spielberg says that he regrets editing out guns from E.T. for the 20th anniversary edition, says that they shouldn't be going back and changing products retroactively.
Well, it's too late now.
It's way too late now. But what's funny about this is...
I didn't know that he did that.
Yeah, so what's funny about this, I'm going to read you his quote. He says, "That was a mistake," Spielberg says. "I never should have done that. E.T. is a product of its era. No film should be revised based on the lenses we are in now, either voluntarily or being forced through peer pressure." Here's the thing. He says that, like cops, what he did is they edited out a scene where the cops chase a kid with guns, and replaces the guns with walkie-talkies. That's not updating for the modern era. You're just lying. They would do the same now.
Yeah.
Their procedure wouldn't be any different. So in a lot of ways, what he's saying is that they're less honest now for the sake of political correctness.
Well, from what I can remember, E.T. was talking about government tyranny in a way.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you want to show that accurately and what the threat behind it is?
I don't know. I thought that was
violence,
a pretty
right?
appropriate response by the government and police officers. I mean, there's a freaking alien
I'm
in
just saying
residential
the
neighborhood.
message that it attempted to...
Well, yeah, because it was a kid's best friend and
yes.
everything.
And this is
but-
an extension.
I agree. I mean,
This is an extension of what they were saying in those DEI in Andre Mieux's article, which is that they want to turn all art into a shapeless blob that has no content at all, that has no actual center, has no heart.
The gun thing's more nefarious than that. I get that for general, most of what we're seeing now, but the gun thing, I mean, they don't want. They think that they show a gun in a movie, and people are like, "Oh my god, I love guns now," and it's just not the case. It's just it's a tool that people you see in your everyday life will use, have used. Like, I don't understand why they're trying to lie about what reality is. Police officers carry guns, and you better believe they're going to be holding those guns if there's an alien that they're chasing. Yep. You know, it's not going to be a little cute.
Yeah, but Hollywood is notoriously bad with not understanding how these things work. My favorite is when they do shoot to injure, which is not a real thing in the real world. They don't shoot to injure.
Yeah, why didn't you shoot him in the pinky?
Or those, yeah, why didn't you shoot him in the right tendon?
Why don't you shoot his gun out of his hand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, but also shoot the tires, which is like if you've ever been in a car and held go and get into a car with like a coffee cup filled close to the top, and then you start to realize how much that car actually moves,
of course,
up and down. So saying shoot the tires is not actually a realistic idea.
Not to mention, you don't want to just be firing rounds off as you're driving through streets. It's it's dangerous.
Like one thing that really, I think we ended up talking about it when Pellegrino was here. I watch how bad they are at handling guns and not understanding any of the basic principles of firearm safety, and then you wonder why they are the way they are. Right? Then you oh well, it makes sense that they're scared of them because they don't go out of their way to understand them.
No, not even remotely. Not even remotely.
It's so he says nobody should ever attempt to take the chocolate out of Willy Wonka ever. Spielberg joked. He added on a more serious note, "For me, it's sacrosanct. It's our history. It's our cultural heritage. I do not believe in censorship in that way." I wonder what he actually believes censorship is okay.
I was just gonna say, he's trying to downplay what he did, and I don't want to be too critical because I'm glad he's barely pushing back, but he should have just been completely like, yo, 2020 was friggin' crazy, right? You had a mob, an internet mob or a physical mob.
Like, I was afraid. I was afraid for my career. And so I made a move that was wrong.
Exactly.
And it was selfish.
Exactly.
Not altruistic.
And he's really being disingenuous here.
Take accountability for what your motivations were at the time.
Here's what the rest of the quote is. It says, "E.T. was a film. I was sensitive to the fact that federal agents were approaching kids with firearms exposed, and I thought I would change the guns into walkie-talkies. Years went by and I changed my own views." Spielberg continued, "I should have never messed with the archives of my own work. I don't recommend anyone do that. All our movies are a kind of signpost of where we were when we made them, what the world was like when and what the world was receiving when we got those stories out there. So I really regret having that out there," which is what they want. What they want is a world where in 20 years all movies will be so homogenous you won't even be able to tell when they were made because they're all going to have the same bland, politically correct, completely docile tone.
Yep. I would remake E.T. and I'd replace the cops with like a couple Apache helicopters, maybe a couple M1 Abrams, and just send the full force
They
of
just
the
nuke
military
the
after
entire
ET.
city.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
The whole armada's
we
going.
we need to have go through a trend where they go through and make it worse.
Sorry, we're messed up. What do you think of Charlotte's Web on that note?
What about Charlotte's Web? I enjoyed the movie when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in probably a decade.
I guess somewhat similar ethical question. Like, should what was the pig's name? Oh my goodness.
Don't remember.
It was something.
Also,
I don't know.
Remember that this is the same.
Was it right to want to kill the pig?
Just remember,
You're
this
on a
is
farm, so yes.
This is the same director who wouldn't put subtitles in West Side Story because we should just all know Spanish. Remember, he's not based. He's not in any way.
I don't mind that.
Wait,
though.
what did he say?
I don't
again?
mind that. I think it is on the audience to understand what they're watching.
Wait, what did he say?
Yes.
No.
Yes, it is.
Through subtitles.
Dude, I don't want someone to dumb something down for me.
Wait, no. What did he say?
He wouldn't when they spoke Spanish in the West Side Story remake. He refused to put English subtitles on the screen because I guess
How much Spanish was there?
I didn't see it.
West Side, there was a fair amount, but it wasn't crazy. I mean, because you have what was her name, Maria?
You can contextually gather
right?
it.
Maria.
No, it does not matter. You want as many people as possible to
Spanglish.
understand that movie.
I mean,
And
are you gonna watch?
I disagree because this
Parasite
completely
without subtitles because
No, because I'm
You don't
not a
deserve
Korean
any?
speaker, so I haven't watched that movie to be honest. Like I think for a good
Really?
example of Dark is when you try to watch it dubbed over in English, it completely
I was
ruins
literally
the show.
watching Dark dubbed over yesterday.
It completely ruins the show. Like, I'm sorry, but if you want to maintain good art, like we always talk
It
about,
does not ruin the show.
it's just another way
First
you're
of all,
catering to
this
an
is,
audience.
This is mass marketed Hollywood
How did
art,
you
which
know? How did
is
you catch
barely
me?
counts as art these days.
West Side. We're talking about West Side Story, which was what
20
80s?
Another
21
woke,
West Side
it was just
Story.
another
Oh, it's the
woke
new one.
remake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He wouldn't put Spanish subtitles in the movie because he felt that it was that the white people should just they're used to getting their way, and you shouldn't just kowtow to them. But it's a movie you released in a majority white country that a lot of them might not speak the language. If you want to reach as many people as possible, they have to be able to understand what the hell you're saying.
Is that the goal? Is the goal to reach as many reach as many people, or is it to create a really good piece of art? What's his goal? What is Steven Spielberg? Should he try to create the best thing?
I
he
don't
can
buy for a
create?
second that excuse he just gave you is because he wants to
What
make
does
good art.
this?
It's
What
woke virtue
does
signaling.
subtitles have to do with the
Because-
quality of the art?
Because basically, without the subtitles, you wouldn't be able to as an English speaker, as an American, right? You wouldn't understand the Spanish being spoken, so you wouldn't understand the scene without subtitles.
Yes.
And
But
I'm
it's the
saying
same
tough.
scene whether you have subtitles or not.
Correct.
It
And I-
doesn't degrade the quality
Exactly.
of the art to put subtitles
I
on
think
it.
I'm saying that decision, if he didn't want to put subtitles on it, whatever.
He didn't
Tough.
do it for art reasons. He did it for social justice reasons.
Maybe.
No,
but
his
I love how much of a contrarian you are, Kellen. You're great.
No,
You're great at this.
This is something like you got to pick and choose your battles.
Well, at
and
least you're wrong with conviction.
upset of like. I would not care if there are shows, I can't think of any off the top of my head where there's been Spanish scenes and they don't include subtitles.
You know what? Let's
They
catch
don't.
up on some super
No,
chats.
keep going because I'm looking up this quote. Hold on.
You're looking up.
Keep making your contrarian point.
I'm just saying, it's honestly, as an English speaker, as an American, every other country in this world knows English, and we're like one of the when you're born in
we're
America.
not watching. We're watching it here in America.
Okay.
And it was
But you-
marketed mainly to Americans.
And okay, so that's on Steven Spielberg, but I'm saying that the actual just idea of if you're
Steven
someone
Spielberg refused to subtitle Spanish in West Side Story for the important reason the director didn't want to give English the power over the Spanish.
that is stupid.
Kick rocks, douche canoe.
that's a stupid reason. But
What
if he was
if
just
he put Spanish subtitles on all of the English?
I'd say no.
On all the English
I'd say
scenes?
no. Also
What do you
no.
do?
I mean, I would be fine with them doing
be
that
fine with that.
for showings. Yeah, like if we're supposed to expect that the people who are living here don't speak English yet, I don't know. Like I don't.
I think that's
If I went to
offensive.
If I went to a foreign country, I wouldn't expect there to be subtitles in my language.
I
Correct.
do because
Correct.
English is the world dominating language now.
Is it? Is it still the number one spoken?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But the point is, but we're not in another country. We're in America,
Sure.
where the subtitles make sense
English
to have.
only, USA. English only,
I'm just
USA.
saying, like, I wouldn't want Spanish subtitles. I wouldn't want English subtitles if that's like, it's the same kind of sentiment for me. You know, it's just let the people speak in the scene. I don't need, you know, and if I want to learn more about the scene and I want to understand it more, then I'll look up the words in Spanish.
There are varying levels of attention that I want to pay to something I'm watching at different times.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if I don't want to pay as much attention, I'd rather have it dubbed.
I watch everything with subtitles on because I can't hear. So
No,
doesn't
you're
matter.
just a zoomer with no attention span.
That too. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.